So hi guys, we're back here at Blueberry Hill. So this is March 20th to the 22nd. Fun stuff to do. Here we are actually going to start the TPO install on the deck. So Jake's over, he's helping me out. So this roll is 100 feet by 10 feet. It's very heavy. It's probably, we're guessing it's 400 and something pounds. I believe that's when I bought it. I think that's what it told me. So I forklift lifted it over here, no problem, and then we're using the jib boom to put it up on the roof. There's no way to carry that upstairs. It's not overly long, it's just super heavy. So we can pretty much pry on one corner and get it to move, but the rest is it's heavy enough to not worry about it. So anyway, jib boom made it pretty easy. My hoist was giving me a little bit of trouble. You can see it going up and down, and it's a Harbor Freight electric hoist, so you know it is what it is. But it does do the job. It's been worked hard. And we just leave it out in the elements, so much for that. Anyway, we got the roll up there, and next bit of order is to actually, you see me parking the jib boom against a tree, and actually ratchet it to the tree so it won't fall over and kill anybody. Yeah, funny. Yeah, but anyway, it's pretty tall, so anyway, I just wanted to secure it to a something tree and easy to get at. So next bit, you'll see us start doing the work on actually installing it, and that went pretty well. So follow along, and a little bit of glue and some action, and here we go. So I bought it this size. They sell them in 5 feet wide. I wanted 10. The deck is actually 16 feet wide ish, with a 1 foot overhang on each side, so it made perfect sense to get a 10-foot wide and just have one seam in the middle. There is a minor slope to the zip panels that you see, and in any case this should actually take care of all that. The one thing I didn't have is they recommend a heavy roller, steel roller, to when you put the glue down and put the membrane on, to kind of roll it out so it gets all the bubbles and that junk out of there. You know, didn't have it. We used a broom and stuff and walked on it, so hopefully it'll do the trick. But you'll see us playing with the glue. Here we're just cutting it to size generically to get it underneath the sliding glass door. That worked out actually very well. And this first install was easy, so just kind of laid it out, started putting glue in a couple of feet of it, and once this glue actually, it's kind of just like normal contact glue for countertops and for mica and all that stuff, even upholstery. You put it on both sides. Once it kind of sets and you touch the parts together, it's almost impossible to get them apart. Well, it technically is impossible to get them apart. But anyway, we had I bought 5 gallons, 3 5-gallon jugs of this glue because I wasn't sure, and it actually worked out perfectly well. We used up 10 gallons of this glue for the whole entire deck, and the deck is roughly, you know, it's a little overhang on the containers. I'll say 20 feet by 32 feet, maybe 33 feet, so you know, 660 odd square feet. And so the glue just kind of worked out perfect. So here's what we were doing. You see the broom, kind of brooming it out to make it smooth. Once that sets, we roll up the rest and start gluing the other portions on. So rinse and repeat, and it took us a few hours for each one. No big deal, but it worked out pretty well. I think we did a fairly good job. It was fairly warm this day, so we actually had to move fairly quick, because once the glue actually like dried, the contact portion of it kind of got lesser, so we made sure it was kind of wet, and then we just rolled it out, and that looked a lot easier than it really was. It was heavy at this point. The further on we went, the better it got and the easier it got. But anyway, you get the point. Just smear it out, roll it out. We used normal paint rollers. That's what the big guys use as well. The only thing we didn't have is the steel roller that they kind of recommend. But anyway, fairly fun job, very satisfying, and fairly quick. It took us about 5 hours to get the whole thing done. The one thing I do have to say, I actually didn't have a pole that fit in the roller. I was using a hand, only a short piece, and Jake was using the one that had the roller on. I did have a pole, which is I think 12 feet tall or something like that, for doing some other jobs, but I didn't need to use that because that was going to be way too long. But anyway, it would have been nice to have two rollers on a pole, you know, broomstick handle rollers, so that we could kind of not have to bend over and make it a little bit easier to spread the glue. It was easier for us to just dump the glue on the ground and smear it out and then just keep going. There you go. And boy, the color, it's some kind of a tan white. I didn't care about the color because we're going to cover this with Trex decking or similar stuff to that. You know, some man-made product for decking, not wood. Anyway, didn't care about the color because it's going to get covered up, and you're never going to see this. This is just to protect the ceiling and the deck itself from water penetration. So, and by the way, I do have to admit it was extremely windy. So we were having fun with that. We expected the membrane to just fly away at some point, but this is the day where I believe the storms rolled in. The very next day we had some severe weather here in Austin, including some tornadoes up in Elgin. Did some damage, and we never got any of that. We just got some heavy winds and some rain. So you just saw me go over the edge there. Now we're doing the second part here, but what we did on the edge, you put the glue on the overhang and spread it out and make it all work. So I have probably, I guess, 34 feet left over. So I'm gonna probably sell it on Facebook Market or something. We measured it out, cut it out, laid it out, and then we started doing the same glue up as we did on the first portion. So I wanted to kind of cover that. It's kind of, I'll call it a bench right in front of the window. So we're gonna go up and over towards the window itself as much as we can. So we're gluing all that up, even part of the bench. And I'll come back later with more pieces to glue down and actually weld together with heat, a hot air gun, and glue all those things together, corners, etc. So this was we didn't cut anything beforehand. We basically just glued it up, and then started cutting the angles out as we were gluing it, so we wouldn't make a mistake on the measuring. So it was actually getting pretty sweaty up there. At the same time, it was almost blinding, the light that comes off of this. By the way, the most popular color for this TPO kind of stuff is kind of a light gray. They didn't have any when I bought this many months ago. I was kind of panicking out, so I was freaking out. They were going to be delayed 3-4 months on delivery, and then they ended up having this color. And again, like I mentioned, I didn't care about the color. But if I wanted gray, I would have had to wait till May, which would have not worked out for us at all. So anyway, here we go. We're just putting down the white, tannish, off-white color. Rinse and repeat. You know, I do have to make a shout out for Jake. He works really hard. I'm very impressed with him. He's a 25-year-old young man, and he's going to be 26 in a couple of weeks. But regardless, he didn't complain about working hard, I'll tell you that. So we must have done something right there. He just comes in and does it, bangs it out, and we move on. So I really appreciate his help, but I'm very proud of the guy. So awesome to have him helping me out build the house. It's fun having him around. We actually get along really well and make things happen together. So pretty cool. Couldn't ask for anything better. Oh yeah, it's getting close to being done. So, you know, I hope you're not bored watching the rinse and repeat techniques, but it's interesting to watch how fast it goes down. The process is, I think, fairly DIY ish. There's a lot of commercial folks that do this. They cost a lot of money. If you were to do it, you know, might recommend a roller, maybe not. I don't think it really matters too much on this kind of stuff. Of course, if you have a job doing this, it might make sense to really have the roller. Do a pro job and call it good. But anyway, we lucked out. The 2 buckets of glue was all we used. I have about ½ an inch left on one of the buckets, which you'll see the next day. I actually come back or 2 days later, or 3 days later after the storm, come back and do the corners and the welding. So here we're doing the edge. It's a 2x8, actually 2x10, sorry, header, and we're gluing it up. It's no fun kind of bending over and putting the glue on, but whatever. And then we had to work fairly hard because we had 32 feet of the glue, and it was setting up pretty quick. You can see we're kind of running around really fast. And last little corner, yay. So there's March 22nd. I'm actually, this is just a quick test. I'm trying to weld the two membranes together. You're not supposed to glue these together. You're supposed to melt them together at the seam. You're supposed to be at least 2 inches or 1.5 inches minimum overlapping. We're about 3 in the middle, but whatever. But here I'm going to apply some more material to the little kick out that we have. This is the AC kick out and the well, I'll call it a bench by the window. So you put the material on. Well, you glue it to normal substrate stuff, and then you weld it, the membrane to itself. You cannot glue it. That's kind of odd. It would have been a lot easier if they provided some kind of a glue mechanism. But anyway, heat seems to do the trick. You can tell when it welds it. It gets soft, and you can actually. I did try to pry it apart, and it did the trick. But here, see what I'm doing on the corner. You just kind of heat it through. I do have the gun on full max heat and full air, so off I went, and just rinse and repeat on that. So I'm definitely not an expert doing this stuff. I didn't make it look as pretty as I wanted to, but nevertheless, the welding worked pretty well. I figured out it's like making a present, wrapping a present. You don't want to see the box that you're wrapping. Same thing with this. You don't want to see any holes or any way that water can get in there. So you do multiple layers, basically heat everything together, and it seems to work very well. It gets actually very hard once you're finished doing the corners, which is kind of cool. Here I'm doing the finishing up the bench. I put basically along all edges up the wall and on the bench. I weld the stuff to the flat part, and I glue everything to the wall side. So that worked out pretty good. So just for grins, I wanted to show you guys how windy it was today, March 22nd. It was after the day after the storm. I had stuff flying all over the place, so I had to go fetch it off the ground. But nevertheless, here we go. For the most part, I was impressed how the stuff is fairly tough to work with. But once I think I went inside, I actually do nice clean cuts straight with a straight edge. Then I come back out and I actually glue it up. So I wanted to make sure it didn't have any jagged edges. Next, you'll see me doing the corner welding. So here I put the camera kind of over the edge at an angle. But anyway, here you see me welding the corner. Basically, just trim it and then weld everything together. And then I put an extra patch on top and made sure I didn't have any visible holes, etc., just from the way that it welded up. So yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. This stuff goes fairly quick. I think let's just say it would be like 5-minute job on maybe 2-3 minute job on doing the corner. So fairly quick. Here I move on to doing the main seam. I actually trim first. I did trim the entire deck area to, again, 2x10 over header. So I made sure I trimmed all the excess material off. It was too hard to measure up properly to do that beforehand. But here, see me starting to do the main weld on the main seam, and I do the next. So now is the time to do the main seam down the middle of the deck. We did have a little bit of rain, yesterday. It was a storm. So I did squirt out some water from the seam. You're not supposed to have water in there, but anyway, I dried it up. That's probably what I went out to do right now. There you go. You see me with the towel, and then I heated it up to make sure all of it was kind of blown away. I was hoping by the time I started this, from the wind and etc., it would actually dry it all up. But here you see how quick it goes. It's time lapse, of course, but it works fairly quick. I'm not sure what the output of the gun is temperature-wise, but I'm sure a couple minutes it'll burn you for sure. But it's fairly hot, and you can tell when the roller hits it how it kind of spreads it out. So you know when it's warm enough. You don't want it too hot. Apparently, when it seams out, like you don't want ridges in the material. So I never had that happen, but it melted out nice. I did try to pull it up a couple times, couldn't do it. So I think we're golden. But anyway, first time with TPO. It's kind of a neat product. It's very hard. I hope it lasts forever. But on top of this, we're going to put the man-made decking material and call it good. So yeah, just rinse and repeat on this particular portion. By the way, that little roller, after a while, it kind of starts hurting your arm. So roll. You do have to press. So anyway, but here we go. Last little section here. I think it turned out fairly well. I'm very happy with the job. It should be a nice wrap around the whole deck. Now we're like 100% sealed up in the entire house, so that's a huge plus. It's a big win for that, and we're moving on to the next job. Hey guys, VTech here. So it's March 22nd. We just finished doing the TPO work on the roof. Actually, I almost finished. I forgot one little piece I'm going to put in a second. But anyway, you can see it down. It's a commercial grade. Made for flat roofs. We do have a little teeny slope left to right, although there was a little bit of water in the middle here. A couple spots, you know, that sits in there. But regardless, this is supposed to keep water out, elements out, etc. It's thick. It's about as finished that up. You saw some time lapse of me doing the rest of the corner work, etc. I think, as you can see, pretty much all the main areas should be waterproof. I kind of suck at the corners, but you know, they shouldn't come apart. It looks like goo, but since they're melted together, I don't really care as long as water doesn't penetrate and weather stays out. So anyway, I'm gonna move on, and next task, hopefully spray foam. A couple of weeks, it should be warm enough at that point. So, and I'll show you in a minute a little quick glimpse of my new 80 gallon compressor, which I'll need for the spray foam. So that's fun. So as promised, here's my new compressor. This is a 80 gallon, what do they call it? It's a double cycle air compressor. This is the biggest size one. I don't know if you remember, I can't recall if I mentioned it in the video, but we got one a month ago, which was damaged. It fell over probably in the truck or something or other, but this whole thing was sandwiched into the pulleys, and the bunch of fins were missing, and this thing was all crushed up. So we swapped it out, called Home Depot. We got it from Home Depot, the best price. Same compressors elsewhere, another $300-400 bucks extra. But anyway, so we biggest sized the prior compressor to this one. The other one was a what they call a single phase air pump. This says it's a double cycle, whatever that means. Anyway, I did have to get a oil and air separator. This is going to be great for the spray foam, because you don't want water with the A compound. Supposedly it likes water. I already ran it yesterday for an hour, according to the instructions, to break it in. So they had a 1 hour solid running to seat the rings, kind of just like a car when you're breaking in the engine. And it was pumping up nice. It's a lot more air compressor than I'm used to. I'm used to the little 5.5 cubic feet per minute at probably 45 psi. This thing will do 15 cubic feet per minute at 90 psi. The spray foam requires around 12. So we're ahead of the game on that, I believe. So it should be good. So I did have to put a plug. It's a 6-50R. I have a bunch of those through the house, so that's what I went to an extension cord that had exactly that prong set up. No big deal, just extra work. So we might start on the deck railing. At least we'll make them and get it ready for install. I'm not going to do the install until after we have all the metal siding on. And unfortunately, well, we'll see. The job who's doing the metal work, I think they're all the way up through May. So it's March 22nd, April, May, June. So we're looking, you know, in all reality, if everything runs properly for him, it might not be till early June or late May, I don't know. So we'll see how it goes, but fingers crossed. And then in the meantime, we might start doing insulation on the inside walls, which are not going to be spray foam, because we can do that. We can technically start drywall there as well, but I'm going to start talking to 2 different people about contracting the drywall work. I know they're not going to want to do this in phases. They're just going to come in and bang it out, whereas we can do it in, you know, take our time, do a certain amount. If we actually do the inner walls, that'd be kind of interesting. But technically, the ceilings first, walls are next. I don't know if I want to do it, not in that sequence, but we'll see. Anyway, talk at you later. Appreciate you guys watching. See ya.